Thank you everyone for staying with us. We're monitoring and watching what you are saying on Facebook, as we're live on Facebook Live, of course. You can watch us right there and there. You can see what is happening right there on the program. If I just may take 2 or 3 of your comments right here on Facebook. Some of you are watching and interacting with us. Prince Akinlabi Kongi says you're watching from Abu Dhabi. Anagboso Martin says watching from Norway. Good Work Channel TV. Nia Diallo says he can't laugh alone. Johnson Bankole says to be believed the experts should be objective and sincere in their criticism and analyses. Aigbangbi says he's watching from Italy. And Aziz Muhyiddin says he's live on his phone. That's what Channels Television brings to you, the enjoyment of all of these content, some of them on demand. You can get them right after now, especially when you go to YouTube, you get to see some of the content there right now on Channels Television. Many thanks for staying with us and your comments here. We're looking at what you're saying, especially as we're staying on the issue of recession and how Nigeria can get itself out of the issue. Let's get some perspectives now to the matter. Joining me is a policy expert, analyst, legal practitioner, Mr. Daniel Buwala, who joins us from our Abuja studio. Many thanks for joining us on the program. You've heard what some of these experts are saying about the reasons for the crisis Nigeria is in, and one will be wondering, some people have said that, for example, Chief Adebanjo says that we are in an unholy alliance, talking about how we came together as a nation. And some other people have said, look, Professor Paktomi said, a crisis is self-inflicted. If you look at these issues, what do you make of these submissions?
Well, thank you for having me. It is quite encouraging to hear Nigerians expressing their views regarding the problems that we're in. And everyone has a right to express his view. And I personally align with the submission of Professor Pat Utomi that our problem is self-inflicted. But I also believe that some of the problems are not necessarily caused by decisions or indecisions of the past. Take, for example, the change in the price of oil. It's not within the powers of either the citizens or the leaders to be able to affect that. I also have heard the position of the other professor when he talked about education, and he said we need to invest in education. I believe in that, but I also hold the view that what I think is critical at the moment in Nigeria is economic empowerment, because quite a number of people who are not educated necessarily are economically empowered, and some of them have even employed people who are educated. And the vast majority of Nigerians, one of the reasons why we have economic problem is because we have a vast majority of Nigerians who are not economically viable or economically productive. And I don't believe in putting blame on either this administration or the previous administration, because the reason why we are where we are is because of what we either did or didn't do over a period of many years. And when a government comes on board, I think that what the government needs to do in the circumstances is to think of productive ways by which we can improve our lives, and not just to be pointing fingers at the previous administration.
Mr. Buwala, if you look at it, one of the submissions is that we've been having sort of a monologue. There's not been dialogue between those who are leading Nigeria and those who have been led. Do you think that this is a major factor? Perhaps there is a disconnect in terms of communication between Nigerian leaders and the people.
I strongly believe that, and I agree with you in total. I have expressed that view over time in different television or radio stations, about the fact that the duty of the government, when you're doing what you think you're doing and you feel you're doing the right thing, then you must have a platform for communication. I believe we have Ministry of Information, and I believe the minister is trying his best, but I also believe there is a disconnect between the official act of government and the understanding that the masses have. For example, in 2008, when America went into economic problem, it formed part of the talking point in the election. And it took almost 8 years for Barack Obama to try his best and pilot the affairs of America. But that constant communication in terms of policy direction, but more especially means by which the citizens are engaged in bringing feedback to what the government is doing, helped Obama's administration. Now, in this administration, we hear a lot about change begins with me, change begins with you, and all of that. But I don't think that the masses are necessarily carried along. The government is trying its best, but they don't know. And the thing is, once I don't know what you're doing, and I don't have an understanding of why you are doing what you're doing, I have every reason to condemn whatever you're doing. And that is exactly what is happening in Nigeria today.
For someone like Professor Patutomi, who says that we need now to wake up, rise up, and speak truth to power, that seems to be a very deep statement to make. And when he says, look, our crisis is self-inflicted, is a policy-inflicted crisis that we have made. A lot of Nigerians may not really understand what this could mean or what the effect of this. And when some people say, look, the crisis we've had has been crisis of the past, or the crisis have been it's been long coming, and we're just seeing the ripple effect right now. If Nigeria may just Nigerians get a perspective on what this exactly means and how we can get out of here.
Right. The former finance minister was heard to have said in one of the forums where she was invited to talk that one of the reasons why we have this recession and we're going through this economic meltdown was because during the administration of the President Jonathan, she made a recommendation to the government that there should be savings of our excess crude, but that the governors did not agree to that terms, and which is the reason why we do not have excess reserve to cushion the effect in this recession that we are going through. So that is one of the self-inflicted costs that we would say we're facing because it was a decision that was not taken with political will. And that is one of it. Now, this administration, if you recall, is making tireless effort to make recoveries of the monies that were stolen. And it is quite surprising to see by the revelation of, uncovering of, billions and billions of naira and millions of dollars that were siphoned by people in government in the past. Just think of a situation where these monies were not stolen. Then it probably would have helped the economy at the moment that we're in.
Interesting. But as it stands now, a lot of people will look at the issue of the PDP has said, look, return Nigeria to 2015, where you met it. Things were better. The prices of commodities are not this bad. Forex is not this terrible. Foreign direct investment wasn't this bad. A lot of things have changed since the PDP left government, and the APC says, look, you should be ashamed, the PDP, for saying this. You have led the nation into the situation that it is now. For you as a lawyer and a policy analyst, what do you make of this interaction that we see on the political platform?
I believe that both parties are right and both parties are wrong. The part that PDP might be considered as being right in the circumstances, the fact that what you can't change is what actually happened. At the time this administration took over, for example, our naira value is different from what we are seeing today. The foreign exchange different from what we are seeing today. Some of our excess crude production and all of that. But you see, you have to be fair to both sides. I do not want to be dragged into the politics of taking sides, with either APC or PDP. I also personally believe that APC is sometimes been unnecessarily dragged into this conversation.
Mr. Bwala, we'll take a moment. I'd like to just pause you for a moment because we need to go on this short break. And when we return, we'll be talking more about borrowing and spending, where we are as a nation. Join us again.